Hi, I'm a virgin.
Nah, yeah. Well, me too. Small world. Small internet. Yeah.
What? You can't be surprised.
Oh no, but I am. I am surprised. Most young ladies I've known in the course of my lifetime haven't been able to make it past 16 without, getting some dick. But you did it. It's interesting. Well, I guess another interesting thing that I've noticed also are the girls who are able to make it past 16 or up into their 20s and remain a virgin are oftentimes very socially awkward or kind of scared and timid and shy and don't really want to interact or deal with men. And then, of course, they're lesbians, but I mean, that's more of a technicality than, they're not, doing stuff. But yeah, I am surprised. It is shocking to hear that. But it's a pleasant surprise. I'm never like, ugh, I'm always like, yeah. Keep it up. It's always my reaction, at least.
When you spent my entire life deciding woman equals sexualize, but not sexuality.
Stop for a second. Here, see, again, this thing of sexualization or sexualizing women has oftentimes always thrown me for a loop. And I'm not going to go into detail about it today, because I could probably do that some other time. But instead, I'm going to ask a very interesting question. Not really meant as a gotcha, but just something to ponder and think about. Are men sexualized? Have you ever seen a man even complain about how men are sexualized? Do people even think about men being sexualized? Yeah, I know there's multiple questions, but I want people to think about that, because I've never noticed that. I've never heard anyone ever say that men get sexualized. But damn, do I hear people talk about how women get sexualized and how it's a bad thing. Interesting. You know.
When I said I liked both, I was told I was greedy. Hi, I'm a virgin, but what does that mean?
It means you haven't had sex before. Or, if you want to take it old school, it means that you're an unmarried woman.
I'm clean, I'm pure, I'm frigid.
I will pause here to say, while I have heard numerous times that virgins or prudes, or at least of the female persuasion, are frigid and are kind of cold, because, they don't really warm up to anyone and they're always kind of standoffish when a lot of men try to talk to them or interact with them. I would say that, yeah, I could see why you would say that, or why that would be something to bring up. Bearing in mind, though, I mean, if people are calling you frigid, of course you don't have to, interact with them anymore. It's hardly even anything to be upset about, really.
Rather that than a whore, but when you beg me to fuck you, I can't be so sure. Hi, I'm a virgin, though people disagree that a girl past her teens could be so pristine.
Yeah. Why do you think chastity is a virtue? It's because, relatively speaking, it's kind of difficult for women to not get dick, because they're constantly bombarded with offers. While conversely, it's more, relatively speaking, difficult for men to get some vagina, because women are frigid. You see? It's different, because men have to prove themselves worthy for women. Women just kind of have to be. Hell, even unattractive women can still have a much easier time in the dating department, so long as they're not socially awkward. If you're like really socially awkward, then, well, you've got a different hurdle. But if you're ugly, as a woman, you can overcome that. You just got to learn how to compensate.
For there's a fire in your belly, and you say that I lit the match. What a catch! Because how should I know, when I'm taught that blood will flow, but not that cum can follow? I'm not taught that I can moan and groan. I'm shown babies and how much he can grow.
I see what you're saying here. No, really, I do. You're saying it's not really fair that women are discouraged from having sex by showing them images of pregnancy and the consequences of doing the do. While conversely, it seems that men are more encouraged to try to have sex. Well, there's a very interesting and important reason as to why that is. It actually harkens back to what I just said originally in the last clip, and that it's more difficult for men to have sex than it is for women, relatively speaking. The relatively speaking part, on the female persuasion side, being the standard. See, because if you think about what it is to date a woman or to try to interact with a woman, you'll find a lot of them are going to reject you. As a man, you're probably going to get rejected a lot more than you'll be accepted. I know me personally, I tried to date 40 girls, right? And I counted. Originally, I started counting as a fucking joke. I didn't really think that the list would get as extensive as it did. Like honestly, it's not, I really did not think that I would get rejected as many times as I did, which is why I kept counting. It was a fucking joke, but turned out to be pretty serious in the end. I tried to date 40 girls throughout my time in high school up until I was a senior. And until that 4th year as I was a senior, I only had one girlfriend. 40. My success rate is 1 out of 40. I was actually, and then there were some girls I tried to date a second time because I thought maybe, you know, if I tried again or if I became more mature, they might change their minds. Nope, didn't fucking happen. Got rejected numerous times by some of the same girls I really liked. But yeah, my success rate is 1 out of 40. See, because here's the thing. When it comes to dating as a man, as I have said constantly, you're going to get rejected a lot more than you're going to be accepted. So it's really, really easy to get jaded or get discouraged, especially if you're really sensitive and you don't like being rejected, from trying to date women. So how do you compensate for that? How do you compensate for the reality that men are going to be rejected constantly? Well, you have to give them a reason to keep fucking trying. They have to get compensated in some way. There's got to be some kind of encouragement. Otherwise, a bunch of men are just going to decide they don't want to do it anymore. In fact, there have been lots of men, as of late, who've been saying that they don't want to put effort into women because they're not worth it. Which proves my point fantastically. Of course, I'm referring to Mick and other guys. Look at the Forever Alone guys. There's actually a movement. You don't see a bunch of Forever Alone women. You don't see one Forever Alone woman. I mean, conversely, when we're talking about young ladies, you don't need to encourage women to have sex because they're going to get offers from lots of people. Hell, you'll find some women, you know, talk about how catcalling is so horrible and terrible that people want to have sex with them. So that's why you kind of have to discourage women from having sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry they see, because they can't. It is a realistic option for women to just go on and have sex with a bunch of people. And people want them to think about the consequences because of how easy that option is. And that is why men and women are encouraged and discouraged respectively when it comes to having sex. I guess to summarize, because for men it's a difficult thing and you can be discouraged pretty easily from the amount of times you get rejected. And for women, you can make lots of mistakes, considering it's a very realistic option for you to just have a bunch of sex with people that probably don't really even like you. Continue.
I'm taught chastity, not diversity, taught no, not possibility. So I turn to the voices filled with blood, hear a world of yes, 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 and please, and find myself drowning in my own flood. They didn't teach this in the class on STDs.
Well, yeah, again, because considering it's a natural inclination for human beings to make more people, whether they want to take care of them or not, it makes more sense to discourage them and reduce the likelihood that they'll make terrible decisions by telling them to think complexly about the people they're trying to have sex with. As in, make sure that the person doesn't have any STDs or that you can't get pregnant. They're not saying that to hurt you. They're not saying that to discourage you from having sex ever. Just saying, you know, think complexly about the people you're going to let inside you. Because they might have a Trojan horse that's going to fuck you up.
So over the years I learned from choked cries and tears that I need to be a good girl. Daddy's girl, a school girl. I learn vocabulary, but not a voice. I learn position is not my choice. I learn that pain is normal and that hair is awful, that I'm useless. Unless I do oral.
Interesting. I do see what you're saying here. And I think that's honestly a legitimate point that maybe some ladies might feel. They might feel that it's not fair that guys will dismiss them because they won't suck their dick. And I can understand that. I can really understand why a woman would say, or be jaded, be upset that some guy would not consider her as a valuable dating partner because of something she's not willing to do. You want to know why I can understand that? It's because I've been rejected many times for not having nice shoes. Yeah, ladies, sucks, doesn't it? When you get dismissed for doing things that you don't think that you should do or you don't think are very important when it comes to a relationship. That feeling, that's called empathy. Obtain some empathy and understand that that happens both ways. Whereas a woman will dismiss a man because he's too short, a man might dismiss a woman because she doesn't have oral sex. And it sucks, honestly. I see it sucks on both sides. But, maybe now you can think a little more complexly about the type of people you reject. Or not. Maybe you can still just say it's not fair that you're not going to put your mouth on someone's dick. But, I will say this, saving grace, is there are some people who aren't big fans of oral sex, such as myself. I'd never ask a woman to suck my dick. I don't really think it's something that you do with people that you like. Especially considering that it's oftentimes used as an insult. So,
I must know all of these things, yet know nothing at all. Like a child, like a girl, like a virgin. Because that's what you want.
Wait, what? No? No? I don't know. Maybe once again I've come to the point where I realize I am not the target audience here. Because I would like to date a virgin. Certainly I'd like to marry a virgin, but not because they remind me of a child. It's mostly because I don't think there'd be much pressure on the both of us. If I'm a virgin, she's a virgin, we'll have no prior experiences of which to compare each other to, and thus we'll have to learn how to enjoy sex with each other. And I think that'd be nice. It might be terrible, but I wouldn't know until it happens. And it probably won't happen, considering I haven't found very many women who are virgins lately. But no, it has nothing to do with wanting a woman who's childlike. I want a woman, like an adult. God honest truth, I don't even fucking like 16-year-olds, like at all. I don't like teenagers, and I'm not far from being a teenager, but fuck them. I really don't like teenagers. So no, I don't want a child. I don't know what this is about.
Not a body full of vermin, but a pale imitation of a child, an invitation of innocence, a flirtation of admittance, a perfect prepubescence, with every hair plucked, blowjob eyes whilst a lollipop sucked, as she's bent over a textbook and learns to be fucked, because it's not paedophilia if she's in luck that virginity is a social construct.
Oh my gosh. Oh goodness, great. Oh, that just happened. Kudos for you actually trying to rhyme words and establish some kind of a flow and pattern. I actually like that a lot. That's interesting. But what's even more so interesting is that you just made a connection between wanting a virgin and pedophilia. Now, it's interesting. I actually chatted with you in the comment section of your video where you explained to me a little more of what you were saying. But I still have to say here, I still think that that's quite the fucking loose connection. Wanting women who are childlike or innocent in a sense, I think goes well beyond wanting a woman who's a virgin. I think the connection that you've established here is a little too weak. Wanting women who don't have pubic hair, or wanting women who are really childlike. I can see that the case being created here when you talk about the porn industry, but there are a lot of things that are fucked up about porn. So to sit here and say that wanting women to seem as if they are childlike, so people who lean on being pedophilic don't feel bad because it's an adult woman having sex. If you were talking about porn, that's pretty fucking tame considering all the other shit that people do, but again, I don't think that is something that is relegated or even closely connected with wanting a woman who's virginal. Wanting a woman who appears innocent or seems inexperienced, I guess, but pedophilia, again, is more of a mental condition of which makes someone that wants to have sex with a child. Wanting to be with an innocent woman, I don't know what kind of fetish that would be, but it certainly wouldn't be pedophilia. And again, I think that goes well beyond the scope of virginity. So I can see I can see your case being created. I just don't think it's tight enough to make the connection between wanting a virgin woman and being a pedophile or leaning towards pedophilia. Especially again considering that an adult woman is an adult woman, and if you want to have sex with an adult, you're not a pedophile, even if their pubic hairs are shaved, which I've never found to be much of a problem, honestly. But I guess some people do, and you can chalk that up to that whole completely dismissing people for things you don't think are important in a relationship.
You like it white? You like it tight? Because there's nothing sexier than a girl who fights. So
No. Man, maybe I really am not the target audience here. But I guess to be fair, I remember I showed my friend this video, and he brought something to my attention that I didn't think about before. What he brought to my attention was perhaps your experience in the type of men that you're dating. Because, to be blunt, you look like a child. You look like you're 14. So it's entirely possible that the men who have been trying to have sex with you do fit that description that you've made of guys leaning on pedophilia, but it actually wouldn't be pedophilia because they're having sex with an adult woman. Maybe that is your experience, and maybe you should chat about that in more detail and depth. In the shallowness of this poem here, though, I don't think that the connection is strong enough to make that. And also, no one, I don't know. The fucking women fighting me is not sexy. That's rape, and I'm not going to jail. So, no.
If that's what you want, we'll give you a war, because I'm sick of not knowing which side I should be on. If I'm first, I'm a whore. If I'm last, I'm a bore.
How about this? Stop thinking complexly about it. Just have sex with men that like you. There you go. Yeah, problem solution. What difference would it make? If you have sex with a man that cares about you orgasming, what difference does it make if you're first or second? Who cares? You want to know who cares? No one. The only thing that would be important there is if you enjoyed it. So just have sex with people that like you. There you go.
Yet somehow I'm more than the girls on all fours. You're damn right. My body is a temple, and that won't change if I unlock the door. I don't know what it's like to turn the key and do the walk of shame, though, my God, I'm not looking forward to it.
Just get into a committed relationship with someone that likes you, and you won't have to worry about doing the walk of shame. Problem, solution. It is that simple. It is really that simple. I actually wonder why no one says this to these young ladies. Why does no one ever just say, just date people that like you? You know you can do that, right? You don't have to worry about getting into this emotional pain or the shame of walking outside the door after you just had sex with some guy that only cared about you for a night. If you just do it with people who care about you, you'll never have to worry about it. Oh, it's just a suggestion.
Instead, I know only of how my vehicle with its license of innocence pours petrol on your burning desire, your eyes leaving scorch marks as you think how good I will look when you are the first to have my clothes on your floor.
Again, I see the point that you're making here. Like, I really do. I see it clear as day. You're dealing with men, or you're commenting upon the men who want to take your virginity, not really care much about you as an individual. And I get that. I really do. I understand the point that you're making here, but I just have to say this. Just date men that like you. There.
Hi, I'm a virgin, and no, that doesn't mean I have something, a prize to be won, as your red-stained tongue twists into my ear, telling me to take it now, take it here, because you don't want to leave it too long, dear. And then you can boast to your friends that, hi, I'm a virgin, and no, that doesn't mean I have something that's waiting to be lost at some divine cost. Hi, I'm a virgin, and no, that doesn't mean I have something which other girls should long for. Hi, I'm a virgin, and no, that doesn't mean I have something more.
Now, as you could probably clearly tell, this poem, Hi, I'm a Virgin, was clearly inspired by a poem called Hi, I'm a Slut by Savannah Brown. Obviously, not only by the style, but the camera angle and even the emotions exhibited. It's heavily influenced. And one thing that you'll find, or at least that I find to be particularly interesting about both of these poems is their common theme. And what is their common theme, you may be asking? Well, the common theme is that they keep discussing men that only want to have sex with them. In Savannah's case, she was discussing how men only want to have sex with her. They only want to use her when they don't want to feel lonely. They only want to have sex with her, and they never care about whether she has any pleasure from it. And she doesn't think that that's fair. She thinks it sucks. She's like, yeah, I'm a slut, but you shouldn't use me, just to have sex. In Izzy's case, she's talking about how men only want to have sex with her because she's a virgin. They only want to take her virginity to be proud of their accomplishment, to be proud that they're her first. At least that's what I gather from her poem. I could be wrong there, but that's what it sounds like she was saying. But again, you can see there's this common thread that in Savannah's case, a million or a million and a half women resonated with, and in Izzy's case, about 100,000 young ladies have resonated with, and that they're dealing with men who only want to have sex with them. And I find it interesting. I do. Because listening to this stuff, you would think, and of course you would think, common stereotype that we men we're horn dogs, and we only desire but one thing from young ladies, and we only do things for women just to put our dicks inside of them. You want to know something? Part of that is true. Part of it is true that men want to put their dicks inside of women. And there's nothing wrong with that. What I find to be kind of sad is the fact that that's the only fucking thing that it's ever common upon when it comes to us men, especially in relation to these young women. And that's these women's perception of men. We're people who want to put our dicks inside of them that don't care about them. And that's the theme that gets expressed, that's the point that gets expressed to lots of young women. And I find it amazing, absolutely amazing, that these women just don't pick the obviously simple solution of just finding a man that actually cares about them. Especially considering that, well, there are vastly more men who genuinely like and care about women than there are ever be men who just want to have sex with them. What's amazing to me is it seems that women always want to have sex with the men that don't really like them all that much. And for a myriad of reasons, but I mean, the fact still remains that we men get lambasted as horn dogs because women keep fucking up with guys that don't like them. So I guess the last thing I have to say here is this. We men, we're a little more than just people who want to put our dicks inside things. I mean, maybe you should think complexly about the guys you're interacting with. Because if you keep dealing with men that only want to have sex with you, let me tell you something. The problem's not all of us. The problem is you. If you have nothing but mean things to say about all the men that you've dated or all the men you've interacted with, there's something wrong with you. Because I can guarantee you there are a lot of great men in the world that really like women. And I am so fucking sick and tired of this shit that we men just want to use women. Because that is so far from the truth. I actually feel kind of silly even having to explain this. So that being said, man, I certainly hope you guys got something out of today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. Yeah, shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. And I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.